some Conservative MPs are expressing their concerns publicly. To go through it all with us is our political reporter, GBNews' political reporter, Katherine Forster. Hello.
Oh, goodness. So much news. So in the last hour or so, it's emerged, we were speculating a little bit earlier, weren't we, about what conference was going to be like and all these...
This is the Tory party conference in Birmingham.
Which is starting, because Labour's finished today. So next thing we will go on to, it starts on Sunday. So it's emerged that Rishi Sunak, the man not saying, I told you so, but obviously many people are
Mel
thinking...
Stride, his supporter,
He did tell them so. Will not be attending. An ally has said that Sunak will give Liz Truss all the space she needs to own the moment. Make of that what you will. Is that
That's
supportive?
a brilliant quote.
I'm backing off to be supportive.
Or you
is
could,
that
yeah.
I'm giving you the rope to sort of...
hang yourself on,
Interesting. And also, apparently, some other big beasts who, because... The Conservatives, I think, have just gone so quiet. What's noticeable? Some of them are coming out and talking, but by and large, there is silence while all this is going. So David Davis will not be attending conference. Sajid Javid will not be attending conference. Mel Stride will not be attending conference.
Chair of the Treasury Select Committee, which has direct... responsibility for discussing these issues.
Are they boycotting or are they...
I'm going to provide some balance here. Because, these are people, not Mel Stride particularly, but these are people who have served in government, who have been to umpteen Tory party conferences. The first time when I was a Labour MP that I didn't have to go to a Labour Party conference, my goodness, I grabbed that opportunity and didn't go. So let's be kind to them and think, they want to spend time with their families. Sajid Javid's been with the cabinet for a long time. Rishi Sunak's just come from that gruelling leadership race. I merely suggest it may be plausible.
Sure, but the Conservative Party are not doing well in the polls. Labour has a spring in their step, and if they're wanting to project a united party, Liz Truss did say she would form a government of all the talents, and then she didn't really. Very few Rishi Sunak supporters made their way in. If they really want to get behind her, as you know, many people are saying, well, we'll give her the chance. Surely she would want them to be there, clapping from the sidelines. And some of them obviously feel that they don't want to do that, they can't do that, and obviously that they will draw focus because journalists are going to be going up to them and saying, Rishi Sunak,
that's also a good point.
Looking for that. So it's better for them not to go.
As Gloria was saying, Sir Keir Starmer now calling for Parliament to get back to work, recalling it. Obviously, it's not in session or sitting because of the party conferences. Is there an indication, again, that when we get back to normal business, that both Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng will face some really difficult moments from the backbenchers? Not just Mel Stride, but others, Red Wall MPs, who think, this is getting serious, this is getting out of hand.
I'm sure they will, and also there'll be lots of MPs that came in under Boris Johnson and his levelling up, his boosterism, that will now be thinking
this is not the message that's going out.
Bode well for me. So I certainly think there are considerable difficulties ahead. And I mean, only last night when Kwasi Kwarteng was speaking on the phone call that he had to try to calm MPs, to reassure them, say, don't worry, I have a plan, I'm going to lay out how this will be paid for. And then one MP took notes and then very immediately leaked them to the Daily Telegraph. He was saying then, the markets are settling. Well, are they? I mean, this is what, the pound has gone down to 105, it might be 106 now. But, this intervention from the Bank of England saying, OK, well, we were going into a phase of quantitative tightening, fiscal tightening. Now we're going into quantitative loosening again to try to undo some of this
inflation stuff.
It is extraordinary.
And the one thing that all MPs of all parties care about is keeping their jobs if they're standing again. And it is plausible that those MPs have been knocking on doors, Parliament's not sitting, since that mini-budget, and they do not like what they're hearing. I mean, we have had John Redwood, who has been very steadfast in his support. Chrissy Heaton-Harris, who is the Northern Ireland Secretary, saying, "Come on, give it a chance." Do you think there's any sense that the leadership of the Conservative Party can get people, or Tory MPs, to hold their nerves? They're not going to change course, are they? That would be even more dangerous.
Well, not according to what the Chancellor's been saying to those bankers at a meeting this morning.
Exactly.
No, but I think in some ways it was... I mean, Liz Truss said that she would cut taxes, they would go for growth, and she's doing what she said she would. But even more so, I think, than was expected. So, for example, it isn't easy to sell, is it, to ordinary people on ordinary incomes, worried about bills, worried about the price of food, this top rate of tax cut that they're bringing in, let alone the banker's bonus. And I think that's only at a cost of about £2 billion,
that's right.
which is huge, but not a lot in terms of the grand scheme of things. But the government has chosen to very clearly give big tax breaks to the people at the very top. And there's some suggestions, you know, they're being asked now about, well, what about raising the thresholds at which you start to pay tax because of cost?
12,500 at the moment.
12,500 and then about 50,000 for higher rate tax. That's actually because those tax thresholds have been frozen. It's effectively a tax rise on lots of people. They could do something about that. Kwasi Kwarteng was saying, well, I do have constraints in what I'm able to do. But, you know, they have made a choice not to raise those tax thresholds, but to get rid of the one at the top. So I think it is very difficult messaging to sell